For all of you truck drivers that say the reason why you're not successful, the reason why you cannot make a profit in business is because of freight brokers. All of you that say that, you're not owner-operators. You're not business owners. You're not an entrepreneur. And that's what it requires in this business. In order to be a successful truck driver on the owner-operator side of the house, you have to know how to operate a business, or you have to be willing to develop the skills to operate a business. You have to be willing to develop the skills to be a good entrepreneur. And what you're good at is driving a truck, and that's really what you want to do. That's where you want to focus your attention, and that's where you focus most of your attention. But that is why your business is failing, not because of freight brokers. I'll explain in this video. So come on inside, sit back, relax, and just chill out for a few minutes. All right, so just for a little context on why we've chosen the topic today, when truck drivers fail, the first thing that they do is they look for somebody to blame. And the easy target is the freight broker because they work directly with the freight broker on a day in and day out basis. What I want to submit to you today is that it's not anybody's fault as to why the carriers failed. It is the carrier's fault. Just like it would be my fault if my brokerage failed, it wouldn't be the shipper's fault. It would be directly on me as a business owner. I did a video about a couple of days ago about the driver shortage. Confirmed that with experts saying that there was a driver shortage. They said that it's about 61,000 short as of right now, and it probably will be about 100,000, I think, in 23. Well, you've had drivers come on and they say, there's no driver shortage. There's no problems when it comes down to the number of drivers we have here in the United States. The problem is the freight broker. The freight broker is the reason why I cannot be successful. The freight broker is the reason why I am not profitable as a business owner. The freight broker is the reason why my business can't get to the next level. And how does the freight broker become responsible for all of that? Because the truck driver is choosing to work with the freight broker, and then he's giving him all of the responsibility and saying that is the reason why he's not successful. I personally don't understand that way of thinking. To me, that's not a business way. That's not an entrepreneurial mindset. That's a mindset more in line with an employee. And that, I believe, is the problem. The problem is not about money and how much money you're making on a load. You drive trucks, and you drive trucks really well. You have an excellent skill when it comes down to driving trucks, but that's where you focus most of your attention. You see, you don't focus your attention on becoming a profitable business. You don't focus the attention on running a business, being a CEO of a business, being a business owner, being an entrepreneur. That's not where you focus your attention. And because you don't focus on those things, you focus on the skill that you've developed in driving the truck. That's where your attention goes. It doesn't go to those other things, the really important things that help you to be able to scale your business, help you to become profitable. You don't focus on those things. And when the business fails, you point and say it's somebody else's fault. I've gotten countless comments over time about it being the broker's fault as to why an owner-operator is not successful. Think about that word, owner-operator. It means that you own a company and you're also an operator of a truck, okay? So it doesn't mean operator-owner. It doesn't say that. It says owner first, operator second. See, you have those responsibilities crossed, and you think that it's somebody else's fault. Well, I want to submit to you that it's not anybody else's fault, the reason why your business is not successful. It is your fault. You are not a successful business owner because you are focused on driving a truck. You're not focused on being an entrepreneur. So your business takes the path of somebody who's focused on driving a truck. What if I would blame the shipper and say that it's the shipper's fault, the reason why my freight brokerage is not successful? It's the shipper's fault, the reason why my freight brokerage is not profitable. To me, that would be completely backwards. That wouldn't pass the common sense test for me to pass the responsibility, my company's profitability, to someone else. It does not make good business sense. And as long as you give that responsibility of your profitability to someone else, then you will always have a problem with profitability. That's just how that goes. Think about it for a minute. You are giving me your responsibility to make your company successful. You're giving that responsibility to me, and you're saying, oh, okay, Brandon, you make sure I get paid what I'm supposed to get paid. Well, how am I going to make sure that you get paid what you're supposed to get paid and I get paid what I'm supposed to get paid? You see, I have a business and I have the interest of that business first at hand. I got to take my business into consideration first because we're in a business to make money. It's not just about, oh, I want to say I'm a CEO or I want to say I'm an entrepreneur. It's about being in business to make money. And if your business model is not making money, then it's on the business owner. It's your problem. You have to deal with that. You have to overcome that. And if you don't and your business fails, then you have to own that responsibility. All right, so where's the proof? Where's the proof that each entity is responsible for its own profitability? Good question. I'm going to show it to you because I don't believe in just saying things without providing proof. This right here is a rate confirmation. A rate confirmation is a contract between the broker and the carrier where they agree to all of the details, including the price, and the carrier signs that. And then, of course, we have a contract in place. So how this starts off is the carrier and I start off in conversation. We're on the phone and we're talking about a load moving from point A to point B. We're talking about the details of the load. We're talking about the price. We start negotiating and we agree to everything in conversation. And then we take it a step further. We say, okay, I'm going to send you out a rate confirmation. I'm going to send you out a contract so you can take a look at it and decide whether or not this works for you. If it works, sign it and send it back. So the carrier receives this rate confirmation. And then he looks at it, he reads it, he signs it, and he sends it back. He goes to the pickup facility, pick up the load, and he delivers the load. He invoices me as the broker, and then he is paid. And after he gets paid, then he says, hey, somehow I got cheated. I didn't make enough money. Well, whose fault is that? Who would that be on if the carrier didn't make enough money? It would be on the carrier. It would be on him deciding what number is profitable for him. I don't get to choose what's profitable for the carrier. That is his responsibility. Let me show you where my responsibility lies. You see, this on the other side of this is a rate quote, right? A rate quote is my contract between myself, the brokerage, and the shipper. We have a contract in place that says, here are all of the details. Here is what we've agreed to over the phone when we were talking about this, or whether we were talking in an email. But now we've sent a contract over, and the shipper signs this contract and sends it back. And now we are in contract. We have everything agreed to. And then I send someone out to pick up that load for me. But the shipper doesn't decide what that number is going to be for me. I have to decide what that number will be based on whether or not I can make a profit. If I can make a profit, it's a profit that I am okay with. I send out the rate quote, the shipper signs it, and it's a done deal. But I don't come back and say, oh, okay, it's the shipper's fault because I didn't make enough money. No, I have to go back and look at that situation, find out where I erred at, and make sure I don't continue to make that mistake again, because my profitability is at stake. That's not anybody else's fault. That's my responsibility, just as it's the carrier's responsibility. At the end of the day, it's based on value. We get paid based on the value that we bring to our customers. And the question is, how much value do you bring to the table? I think value is based on how many people can do what it is that you do. How specialized is the skill that you've acquired? A lot of people can drive trucks. So if a lot of people can do it, then it's not as valuable as you may think. Don't get me wrong. Very, good skill to have. Good to be able to drive a truck. You are a valuable piece to the economy. This economy couldn't get by without truckers, but they couldn't get by without doctors. They couldn't get by without engineers, and so forth and so on. So how valuable are you? That determines how much you get paid. Also, it is your decision. Nobody is holding a gun to your head and saying you have to work with a freight broker. The reason why you work with a freight broker is because you see the value in a freight broker. You see, you don't want to go to shippers direct. You don't want to deal with that problem. You don't want to deal with that headache. You don't want to deal with that challenge. So you let somebody else do that for you. That's the freight broker. He's willing to go through that fire. And because he's willing to do that, he brings a certain amount of value to the table. And he's compensated for that value. That's what it's all about. How much value do you bring to the table and how much people are willing to pay for it. So that's how I see it. That's my perspective. If you see it different, you want to get something off your chest, feel free to hit that comment section and say whatever it is that you want. Share your opinion there. I want to thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you found this information helpful. If you're interested in learning more about the freight broker business, I'll leave my free link in the description. It's my 5-video series titled How the Load Movement Process Works. It will give you a look into the freight broker business, let you see how it works. That way you can take a look at it and make a decision before you come into it. And then, if you want to learn more about how we find the shippers that we work with on a day in and day out basis, I'll leave a free link right here. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.